Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Giants Sports Talk Live, coming to you Tuesday morning, early a.m. Last night, Giants were able to pull off a win against the worst team in the major leagues. That team is probably going to lose over 100 games this year, and they were able to squeak out a win, 5-3. Giants don't make it easy playing bad teams, Glenn, and you were there to witness it. I mean, they got the win, which is great. You want to see that, but man, they always make it tough.
Eric, there aren't many mathematical certainties as of yet in Major League Baseball. One you just touched on is the fact that the Chicago White Sox are not going to win 100 games this year. They've got 30 victories on the season, Eric. Does it get any worse? They could have. Maybe on tonight's show, we'll examine some of the worst teams in the history of Major League Baseball. I think that would be a
right
great segment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be.
Matt Chapman, he had a sixth-inning home run. The Giants, well, they won. Let's leave it at that. They beat the White Sox 5-3. I didn't find that our bullpen was exorbitant.
It wasn't lights out.
No. Oh, God. Far from it.
Yeah.
Looking for the proper terminology because it was far from, we scattered too many hits late, Eric.
Yes, correct. You can't do that. You're not going to get away with that with better teams later on in the schedule. You can't do that. You got to get these things. You got to get these outs, especially late in the game when you got a pretty good lead. You just can't let the other team start getting the momentum, start getting runs across the board. And then, you're just asking for trouble when you're allowing a lot of guys to get on base, especially late in the game.
So last night, Bivens came in. He gave up a couple of runs on 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
God, he amazes me. How he does this kind of stuff, I have no idea. But Tyler Rogers, he gave up 2 more hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jordan Hicks gave up 2 hits.
Right.
So we were flirting with danger come the end of the game, especially when Bivens gave up the 2 hits and a couple of runs.
Right.
But we held on for the victory, thank God. And again, we're sticking around. Let's just hold on to that, that promise that we're going to be there entering September and let the chips fall probably where they may back into the banker's cabinet. It's going to be a rough month playing teams that are above 500. But let's just play it out because I am not just an average fan. I want to win, Eric, and I'm going to be at the ballpark tonight at 6:45, even though there's not even a giveaway.
No giveaway.
No giveaway, and I'm still going to be there. Why? I'm cheering them on. I want to see my team win. What have we got elsewhere? Before we tee up what's going on for the Giants, let's do that off the back end for a change tonight. What else is going on today?
Let's take a look at what's going on out there in the league. All right, right off the top, you got Arizona at Miami. Arizona was able to take that first game from Miami. You got Eduardo Rodriguez going against Edward Cabrera. They're in Miami. Going to be a 3:40 start here on the Pacific. Should be an interesting game. Arizona should win. You know how that goes, though. When in baseball, anything can happen because, again, Arizona's back in their winning ways, winning that first game, as I stated right off the top.
5 minutes later, and a favorite of Vegas to win, Washington at home hosting Colorado. Visitors from Colorado have Austin Gomber on the hill. Who?
Yeah.
Another one.
I think they picked him up. Yeah, they picked him up a few. Was it? I'm trying to remember. There was a trade. I can't remember what it was. It might, you know what? Was it the Arenado trade? I think it was from the Arenado trade. I could be wrong, though. But I remember
that. It sounds like he's from Mayberry. Austin Gomber up against DJ Hertz. That one at 3:45 this afternoon, Eric. At Nationals Park, I mentioned at the beginning of that segment that Washington is the favorite to win that game.
Yep, and in New York, the Bronx got the Cleveland Guardians going up against the New York Yankees. Should be a good matchup. Both of those teams are pretty much playoff bound. You got Matthew Boyd going for the Guardians. You got Luis Gil going for the Yankees. Again, in the Bronx, should be a good series.
Cincinnati is in Canada today once again to play the Toronto Blue Jays. Carson Spires will take on Blue Jay pitcher Jose Barrios, who's 11-9. That game at Rogers Center. Toronto's the favorite to win the game. 65 degrees, not bad in Toronto this time of year. City that's predominantly hit in the month of August by humidity, like you wouldn't believe. But it doesn't matter because I guess if it's that humid, they can always close the big dome over there at the Rogers Center. That one, again, is in Canada, 4:07 start, Reds and the Jays. And a game we'll be watching very closely on the scoreboard, Eric.
Yes. You have Baltimore Orioles at the New York Mets. Yesterday, Mets were able to pull up an upset against the Orioles. Again, as Giants fans, we want to see the Mets lose again because they're ahead of the Giants by, I guess, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like a game or a game and a half. We'll look at it here right after the scoreboard or the schedule here. But again, Baltimore Orioles at the New York Mets. You got Dean Kremer going against Jose Quintana. We'll see how that pans out for the Mets and the Orioles.
Well, I might put a little Kremer in my coffee this afternoon. Sit back and watch TBS at 4:20. Philadelphia will play the Atlanta Braves. Now, Atlanta should be rested. They had a day off yesterday. They are certainly in fine standing right now, Eric. They are holding the good positioning in the wild card chase. Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. Ronaldo Lopez is pitching for the Braves. One note, though, you brought to the table on our show, Giant Sports Talk Live, the evening edition last night, was that the Atlanta Braves have been hit by injury.
Yeah, it sucks to see Austin Riley, the third baseman. They're slugging third baseman. It looks like he's going to be out the rest of the regular season. They were telling me that in the chat. I heard that he was injured. I just didn't hear the details, and they let me know. I guess he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken hand, a hit by pitch. Unbelievable, man.
Phillies and Braves, 4:20. I'll catch a bit of that on TBS before I go over to Oracle Park for the White Sox and the Giants. More to come on that game a bit later on, but let's head down to St. Louis, Eric.
Yeah, you got the Milwaukee Brewers at the St. Louis Cardinals. You got Frankie Montas going up against Eric Fetty. Again, St. Louis, that's a team. As a Giants fan, you want to see lose. You want to see Milwaukee take that. See how it pans out over there in St. Louis. Again, 4:45 start Pacific.
Talk about two teams. They're evenly matched. Detroit, 61 and 64, Eric. Guess what the Chicago Cubs record is?
61 and 64, maybe?
Oh, good God. Can't put anything by you. Javier Assad will go 5-3 for the Cubs. They haven't announced who will start for Detroit. Nobody wants to start for Detroit. That's why. And that game is at Wrigley Field tomorrow, or I should say today. I'm looking at the 67-degree temperature at Wrigley Field for that game. This afternoon, I was taking a look. I for a minute there, I thought that maybe, sometimes I look and they'll have a not available pitcher. But usually not this late into the game day. Here we are. Yeah. We're recording this show and on the air around 7. Detroit still hasn't named the starting pitcher. I'm kind of surprised at that. But Tigers and Cubs, that one goes today at 5:05 Pacific time.
All right. And in Texas, you got the Pirates teeing off against the Texas Rangers. You got Mitch Keller, one of their aces for Pittsburgh. I'm not sure how he's been pitching lately, but he's one of their flamethrowers against Cody Bradford. Again, this game really has no playoff implications. Pittsburgh kind of got buried with that huge 10-game losing streak. It kind of got them out of the race. But again, they're not mathematically eliminated quite yet, but it's getting close. But that's what's happening in Texas.
Yeah, and that game's over at Globe Life Field. You mentioned Mitch Keller. He's 10-7 for the Pirates entering that game. LA Angels, they'll play in Kansas City. Always a good day for a ball game in Kansas City, Eric. Today, you're looking at a temperature of 76 degrees, light winds. Tyler Anderson in 9-11 record for Angels. Cole Reagans for Royals, 10-7. Kauffman Stadium will be the place to be for some baseball there in Kansas City. Late this afternoon, that will be a start 5:10 Pacific.
Yep, and then we got the Boston Red Sox facing off against the Houston Astros, an AL East versus AL West matchup in Houston. Got Nick Pivetta going against Ronel Blanco, who pitched a no-hitter very beginning of the season. If I'm not, I think it was wasn't it his very first start or something close to that. But yeah, it should be a good game. Got the Houston leading in the AL West. Boston is fighting in the AL East. Should be a good game there in Houston.
Yeah, it was a good song. Hula Paloma Blanca. Anyway, Minnesota and San Diego Padres have been red hot. I expect more of the same today. Martin Perez, 3-5, will take the hill for the Padres. Bailey, the Ogre Ober, 12-5 for Minnesota.
Yeah, Bailey Ober's having a good season, so it should be a good matchup. San Diego was able to take that first one. Again, that's a team we want to see lose. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch them, to be honest with you, but do you want to see them lose? They might be able to catch the Dodgers. Maybe we want to see them win. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Eric, we got the Giants. We're going to talk about that one at the end of the list.
Yep.
But how often do we see San Francisco and Oakland play a home series at the same time? I think this might be the only time this season. And tomorrow, the Giants will be playing in the afternoon. A's play at night, a doubleheader in the Bay Area. Tonight, the A's will be on the field at the same time as the Giants. And I believe they're taking on Tampa Bay, are they not?
Yeah, there it is. You got Shane Baz versus Joey Estes. Oakland was able to blank them in the first game in Oakland. So we'll see how this second game turns out. But again, it's a game for no playoff implications at all.
No. And you mentioned a few minutes ago, Seattle, LA. You were talking about my recap of that San Diego game a minute ago. Padres have been red hot. Yeah, I mentioned that. But you said, can they catch the Dodgers? Well, the Dodgers are 74-52 entering play today. San Diego is 71-55.
It's pretty close.
Dodgers are holding a 3-game lead. 74-52 record entering their game with Seattle today. The Dodgers are hosting the Mariners. It's Bryce Miller for Seattle. Walker Buehler. You never know what you get from him when he starts the game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one here in the West. Walker Buehler struggling this year at a 5.58 clip ERA with a 1-4 record. All right, we'll leave it to you, Eric. Tonight, I'll be at Oracle Park for who?
There you go. Chicago White Sox, the worst team in the major leagues against the San Francisco Giants. You got Davis Martin. I think you said he's 0-1 with a 3 ERA or something like that. Something to that. Going up against Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
We'll see which Robbie Ray we get this evening, because sometimes he comes out there and he was dealing, and then there's other times he goes out there and he's hitting batters, he's putting them on base with walks, allowing a bunch of runs. So let's see what type of Robbie Ray we get tonight.
We can't get the Robbie Ray with the 6 ERA, Eric, up against a 3 ERA Davis Martin. No way. No. 2-2 record, 6, but he's been the victim of his own demise. Hitting batters, walking batters. Let's shut her down against a 30-win White Sox team tonight at Oracle.
Absolutely. All right, let's touch on the wild card standings. Currently, you got the San Diego Padres sitting atop the first wild card. Arizona Diamondbacks sitting in the second spot, and the Atlanta Braves in the third. Again, what's going to happen with the Braves? They're suffering so many injuries. We talked about this earlier. You have Strider out, Acuna out. Now you got Riley out. You had Harris out for a while. You had Ozzie Albies out. Man, they're suffering, but they're still in it.
Eric, how they're even able to maintain any stability there and be in the race is a wonder to me.
It is, absolutely. How they're able to stay in it is pretty damn amazing.
Wow. Hats off.
A credit to them to be able to stay in it. So let's see what happens to them. You got the New York Mets sitting right behind the Braves. They're only a game and a half out of that third wild card spot. And there's the Giants, 3.5 out of the third wild card. Again, the Mets are 2 games ahead of them. So we'll be watching that Baltimore and Mets game very closely to see what happens. Again, Giants still got to do their part. They got to win these games. Otherwise, you just can forget about it. You got the Cardinals right behind the Giants. They're about a game and a half behind them.
Yeah, well, look at them. Cardinals, Reds, Cubs, Pirates. Yeah. They're pretty well. Just look at the Cardinals, Reds, and Cubs. 5.
Yeah, those are the ones. Those are the ones that are chasing. Absolutely. So
maybe too little.
It might be. It might be.
All right, that's what's coming up today in Major League Baseball. I'll be heading over to Oracle Park late this afternoon. There's no giveaways. I'm enticed by simply baseball because I am your casual baseball fan. Going to be there cheering on my team in section 321 tonight. If you're in the area, drop on by, say hi to me. If you like me, hey, we'll share a few laughs, maybe have a cold refreshment. If you don't like me, stay the heck away. I probably pissed a few people off. And Eric, one guy who has made me a happy man, hasn't pissed me off at all. It's our old buddy Will B, because Wilmer Flores is here to stay.
Glenn's got a secret in his room at night. Wilmer Flores baseball cards shining in the light. Find him at the card shop, wallet in his hand, filling up a binder with that Mets fan brand. Wilmer Flores all the way. Glenn's collection here to stay. Every card in plastic case gives a smile on Glenn's face. Training in the schoolyard, kids gather around. Glenn's got the rare ones, jealousy abounds. Late nights organizing, spreads them on the floor. Each one in a special spot, always room for more. Wilmer Flores all the way. Glenn's collection here to stay. Every card in plastic case gives a smile on Glenn's face. Late nights organizing, spreads them on the floor. Each one in a special spot, always room for more. Wilmer Flores all the way.